Okay, let's unpack this. Because usually when we sit down to do a deep dive, we have the luxury of distance.
Right, hindsight.
Exactly. We're looking at something in the rearview mirror, a historical event, a business collapse from last year, or a cold case that's been, closed for decades. We have the beginning, the middle, and the end.
We usually have the answers, or at least the experts we're quoting have the answers.
Exactly. But today is different. Today, the clock is actually ticking while we speak. We aren't analyzing history. We're stepping right into the middle of a volatile, active situation.
It is Sunday, February 8th, 2026, and we are looking at a situation with a hard deadline that is less than 24 hours away.
Monday at 5:00 p.m. That is the deadline set by the alleged kidnappers of Nancy Guthrie.
Nancy Guthrie, who, for anyone who has been, I guess, living under a rock for the last week, is the 84-year-old mother of Savannah Guthrie, the anchor of NBC's Today Show.
And I think we need to set the table here immediately. This isn't just a missing person flyer stapled to a telephone pole. We've gone through the stack of reports here, everything from Pima County Sheriff updates to FBI insights, forensic analysis from former CIA agents, and, the latest drops from outlets like The Blast and TMZ. And the picture that emerges is, well, it's a baffling contradiction.
It really is. On one hand, you have a forensic dissection of what some experts are calling an almost perfect crime, a silent siege, if you will, high-tech, disciplined, invisible. But on the other hand, you have these sloppy, almost theatrical anomalies, ransom notes sent to the media, weird public spectacle. It doesn't fit the standard profile.
That's what we need to figure out. Is this a heist, or is it a reality show gone wrong? Because the answer to that question might determine what happens tomorrow at 5:00 p.m.
And that is the terrifying part.
So let's not waste time. We need to start with the timeline. Because when you read through the official sheriff's reports, the precision of this abduction is what really stands out. We need to place the listener at the scene. Nancy is 84. She lives in the Catalina foothills in Arizona.
Right, and context is absolute key here. This isn't some rural farmhouse in the middle of nowhere.
No.
This is a secure community. Nancy lives alone, and while she is described as mentally sharp, very independent physically, she is vulnerable. She has limited mobility. She relies on daily medication. This is not a woman who decides to go for a hike in the middle of the night. She's a creature of habit.
Exactly. So let's go back to Saturday, January 31st. That's the last time the world made sense for this family. She's having dinner at her daughter Annie's home.
A completely normal family evening. Her son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, drops her off at her home at 9:50 p.m. We have visual confirmation of the garage door closing. That is the hard stop. That is the last time Nancy Guthrie is confirmed safe.
And then the house goes dark. But the digital footprint, that's just getting started. And this is where the story shifts from a physical investigation to a digital one. This is the tech aspect that really gave me chills when I was reading the reports.
It's the silent invasion.
Yeah.
According to the timeline released by authorities, at 1:47 a.m. on Sunday morning, the doorbell camera disconnects.
Pause there. Because when I first read disconnects, I assumed brute force. Someone in a hoodie takes a baseball bat to the Ring camera. Smash and grab.
That's what a smash and grab burglar does. They create noise. They leave physical debris. But former FBI agent Greg Rogers points out a crucial distinction here. The camera wasn't smashed. It was disconnected from the software side.
Wait, someone hacked it.
It's likely a de-authentication attack. Basically, someone knew exactly how this system worked, how the data was stored, and how to sever the connection to the Wi-Fi without triggering an immediate alarm at the security company. This implies professional knowledge of home surveillance architecture. This isn't an amateur kicking in a door. This is someone with a laptop or a specialized jamming device.
Okay, so the eyes of the house are blinded at 1:47 a.m. If this were a movie, the bad guys would kick down the door right then. Right, go, go, go.
Right. Speed is usually the name of the game. But that's not what happened here. And this is the detail that the profilers are absolutely obsessed with. There's a gap, a long one. It's not until 2:01 a.m., roughly 25 minutes later, that a different camera on the property detects motion.
Wait, 25 minutes. They blinded the camera and then just sat there.
NBC analyst Tom Winters suggests this wasn't hesitation, it was a test.
A test of what?
The response time. Think about it. You disable the main camera, then you wait in the dark. You wait 20 minutes to see if a silent alarm tripped. You watch to see if a private security patrol rolls up. You check if the police turn the corner.
That requires insane discipline. You're standing outside the house you're about to rob, adrenaline pumping, and you just check your watch for 20 minutes.
That's the difference between a meth addict looking for jewelry and a professional crew executing a plan.
Hmm.
Pros don't panic. Pros test the perimeter. If nothing happens in 20 minutes, you know you own the house. You know you are invisible.
That is, honestly, that is terrifyingly calculated. It makes you realize how fragile our smart home security really is.
It gets worse because we have one more digital witness. And I think this is the most haunting detail in the entire stack of reports.
You're talking about the pacemaker.
2:28 a.m.
Yeah.
Nancy's pacemaker app disconnects from her Apple Watch.
Can you explain the tech there? Why does that disconnect matter so much?
So modern pacemakers often use Bluetooth low energy to communicate with a base station,
Yeah.
usually the patient's phone or watch to log heart data. That connection has a limited range, maybe 30 feet, give or take, depending on walls. If the watch is on the nightstand and the person is moved out of the room,
The link breaks.
the digital leash snaps. Her phone, her Apple Watch, her meds, they were all found left behind in the house. But that digital severance at 2:28 a.m. gives us a precise timestamp of the abduction. It marks the moment she was likely taken out of the house.
So we have a 1:47 a.m. camera blackout, a 20-minute discipline wait, and a 2:28 a.m. abduction. And the next morning,
Silence. She misses church on Sunday morning.
which is highly unusual for her, right?
Unheard of. The family checks at 11 a.m. Police are called at noon. And when they get there, it's not just an empty house. Sheriff Chris Nanos confirmed there was a trail of blood found near the entrance.
And DNA confirmed it was Nancy's?
Correct. So we have a digital blackout, a physical abduction, and forensic evidence of injury. This was immediately upgraded from a missing person to a major crime scene.
Which brings us to the why. Usually, in these cases, you wait for a phone call, you wait for the kidnapper to contact the family quietly. But in the Nancy Guthrie case, the communication has been bizarre.
Bizarre is putting it mildly. It's anomalous. We're talking about the ransom demand.
$6 million in Bitcoin.
That's the figure reported by outlets like the Georgian News Network. 6 million. And there wasn't just one deadline. There have been multiple. But the one we are staring down right now is Monday, February 9th at 5:00 c.m.
But here's the thing that trips me up, and I really want to get your take on this. The notes didn't just go to Savannah or her siblings. They went to the media.
Yes. KOLE TV in Tucson, TMZ, News Nation.
Mm.
They all reported receiving ransom notes.
Why would you do that? If you want money, don't want to keep it quiet. Don't you want to keep the FBI out of it as much as possible?
That is the million-dollar question, or the $6 million question. James Galliano, another former FBI agent, notes that this is highly unusual. Typically, kidnappers want private negotiations. They want to avoid the heat. Going public, sending letters to TMZ, that suggests a different goal.
It feels like the publicity paradox. By making it public, you make it harder to get paid, don't you?
Unless the goal is speed, think about the pressure. By going to the media, you aren't just negotiating with the family, you are negotiating with the whole world watching. It forces the family into a corner. It humiliates them. It creates a panic that might make them pay faster just to make the headlines stop.
So it's weaponized publicity.
Exactly. And we have to clarify something here because there was a bit of confusion in the news cycle. There was an arrest.
Right, Derek Kalala.
He was arrested for sending fake ransom text to the family. But authorities have been very clear. He is a hoaxer. He's a ghoul, to use the law enforcement term. He is unrelated to the main ransom letters sent to the media.
So the guy asking for Bitcoin in the media letters, that's still the active threat.
Correct. And the FBI is taking those media letters seriously. Harvey Levin from TMZ mentioned that the notes contain non-public details.
Like what?
Specifically, the note mentioned an Apple Watch and a floodlight at the home details that hadn't been released to the public yet. That lends these notes credibility.
And the content of the notes.
They claim Nancy is safe but scared and aware of the demands.
Safe but scared. I can't imagine. But this public nature of the ransom brings up a massive debate among the experts we've been reading. Is this actually about the money? Or is this about who Nancy's daughter is?
This is the targeted versus random debate. And if you look at the profiling, the consensus is shifting away from random.
Brianna Fox, the profiler, was pretty clear on this.
She was. She, along with Tracy Walter, who's ex-CIA and FBI, argued that this was absolutely not random. You don't stumble upon an 84-year-old woman's house in a secure community, disable the tech in a sophisticated way, and navigate the property unless you have cased it.
They knew she lived alone. They knew the security system. They knew when she slept.
Exactly. And let's go back to that 20-minute gap. If Tom Winter is right, and that was a test, that implies patience. Pros don't panic. Pros test the perimeter.
So if they are pros, what's the motive? Greg Rogers thinks it's purely financial, right?
Rogers believes Nancy's the currency.
Yeah.
In his view, they didn't kill her because she has no value to them dead. If you want the $6 million, you need the hostage. It's a transaction.
But Tracy Walder has a different take, and honestly, it's a bit more disturbing.
Walder suggests the motive might be Savannah Guthrie's fame itself. She points out that while Savannah is wealthy, sure, she's a TV anchor, there are hedge fund managers, tech CEOs, people with way more liquid cash who aren't on television every morning.
So why choose the mother of a celebrity?
Walder thinks it could be obsession, an obsession with Savannah, or potentially revenge.
Revenge.
Think about the stories Savannah covers. She interviews powerful people, she covers controversial topics. Walder speculates, is this someone with a beef because of a story she covered? Is this payback?
That makes the media involvement make more sense. If you just want money, you rob a rich anonymous person. If you want to hurt Savannah Guthrie, you make it a national news story.
Precisely. It weaponizes her public profile against her. And there's a geographic clue here, too. The ransom letter allegedly implies the kidnapper is within a specific radius of the Tucson area.
So they aren't necessarily international supervillains flying in from overseas. They might be local.
Or at least operating locally.
We have to talk about how the family is handling this because, Savannah stepped away from the Olympics coverage. The president called her. This is playing out on the biggest stage imaginable.
It is. President Trump called to offer federal resources, which shows the level of attention this is getting. But the family's direct response, the videos they've released, that is where the experts are really reading between the lines.
There was that specific video released on Saturday, February 7th. Savannah is holding hands with her siblings, Annie and Cameron, and she says, "We received your message. We will pay."
It's a surrender. But there is a specific phrase in that video that has sparked a massive amount of analysis. Savannah says, "We beg you to return our mother so that we can celebrate with her."
Celebrate.
That word,
Celebrate. It does stick out. Your mom is missing. You're terrified. Why celebrate?
Tracy Walder, again, takes a very skeptical, analytical look at this. She finds that word suspicious. She thinks the video feels scripted, almost contrived, and she worries it's a code.
A code for what?
She raised the possibility that celebrate implies a funeral or a memorial. She's asking, is this a ransom for a body? Does the family know something we don't? Are they negotiating for the return of Nancy's remains?
That is dark.
It is incredibly dark. But in the world of kidnapping negotiations, proof of life is everything. And if the family hasn't received it...
But not everyone agrees with that take.
Right. No. Jason Pack, another ex-FBI agent, completely disagrees. He sees that video as a graceful signal of surrender. He thinks celebrate is an attempt to humanize Nancy. It's saying, we aren't out for blood, we aren't setting a trap, we just want to see our mother again and celebrate her return.
It's de-escalation.
Exactly. It's telling the kidnappers, you win, just give her back.
But you can see the toll it's taking, the shift from the first video, which was more hopeful, to the second one. They look defeated.
They look like a family that has been told the price, and they are willing to pay it, but they are terrified the goods won't be delivered.
And that brings us right up to the present. Sunday, February 8th. The deadline is tomorrow at 5 p.m.
And we are left with this picture of a sophisticated, high-tech abduction of a vulnerable 84-year-old woman. We have a specific Bitcoin demand. We have a family publicly agreeing to pay.
It really makes you think about the intersection of fame and vulnerability. You can live in a secure community. You could have the cameras, the pacemaker, the watchful family, and yet...
And yet, if pros want to get in, they get in. That's the scary part for the listener. We rely on these digital walls, our Ring cameras, our alarms. But if someone has the knowledge to turn them off, the walls disappear.
And the fact that they stay, that's the thing that keeps nagging at me.
The timeline.
Yeah, the timeline. The camera goes off at 1:47 a.m. The pacemaker disconnects at 2:28 a.m. That is roughly 45 minutes.
It's a lifetime in a criminal trespass.
If they are pros, if they are concerned with speed, why stay so long? Why hang around in the house for 45 minutes?
It's a provocative question. Were they looking for something else? Were they waiting for her to stabilize medically before moving her? Or, as Greg Rogers hinted, were they so confident, so comfortable, because they had cased the place so thoroughly that they knew they had the time?
It suggests a level of control that is deeply unsettling.
It does. And one final thing to consider, why involve the media if the goal is just money? Usually money is quiet. Fame is loud. The fact that this is so loud, that might be the biggest clue of all.
Well, the world is going to be watching tomorrow, 5:00 p.m. We can only hope that safe but scared turns into just safe.
Absolutely.
That's it for this deep dive. Keep your eyes on the news tomorrow.
We'll be watching.